First thing we're going to talk about is good old Andy Puta brother Cortez. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the guy that we spoke about yesterday on Hypnocast, we're going to be talking about today again on Hypnocast. And the reason why we're doing this is because Smash JT just put out a video talking about an issue that he's been dealing with for the last, a couple of days, although I think he said it's been months, to be honest with you. But it's something that's resurfaced over the last couple of days because some losers are so angry over the fact that he's doing so well, and they've lost like so many different times in this entire Gamergate 2.0 situation that they are now deciding to try to spread false rumors about people because that's what they do when their back's against the wall. Right? When they feel like they have nothing else to lose, when they feel like they've lost it all, and I've said this so many times, that once their back is against the wall, you're going to find out just how ugly people can actually get. And that includes good old puta brother over here, Andy Cortez, and other people online as well. So let's go over Smash JT's video. It's 14 minutes of white privilege, so we got a lot to go over, and we're going to react to it as time goes on. Here we go. You guys ready for the content? Get your popcorn, get your drinks, like the stream, and let's go.
Andy Cortez is someone that I was not very familiar with up until a few days ago when one of his videos from apparently a podcast that he's on called Kinda Funny went kinda viral. And I watched it on my live stream with a lot of the people that were wondering what was going on. Who is this guy? What's he got to say about DEI? Because he's an industry insider, someone on the other side of the fence. And it's curious to always see people in an echo chamber and how they feel about DEI and how they try to defend it, even though everything they try to say makes absolutely no common sense when faced with facts. I watched that video and laughed at it and moved on thinking nothing of it. And the next day, apparently this guy took issue with me a long time ago, and I didn't even know who he was, and he banked something I said, and then tried to get like the biggest gotcha in the world on me, and ended up with a pie splattered on his face. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT.
So okay, let's talk about that. So they are desperate for any sort of win whatsoever, right? How many times do we say this? All the time at this point, to the point where it makes us sick. They're so desperate for a win. Because for the last almost year, they've been taking so many L's. And then the best part about all this is that it culminated in the biggest L that they could possibly take on the grandest stage in the country. Right? You guys got to understand that this Gamergate 2.0 situation that's been happening, yeah, it's an entertainment, which again, is a trickle down of everything. But still, it is such a massive L to finish Gamergate 2, even though it's not finished, but you get what I'm saying. To get all those L's throughout the year, starting with Sweet Baby and working your way all the way down, to only end up taking an L during the election and losing the entire country. You know what I mean? Like you lost the entire country after you just try to convince people that you're the majority for the last 8-9 months now during Gamergate 2.0. You've been trying to convince people. We've been very obvious that that's not the case. The numbers have proved that that's not the case. The games flopping have proved that that's not the case. And yet you still try to convince people. And now you got to face the reality that that's just not the case. That's not the case. The country has spoken. The country has spoken. Gamers have been speaking. Everybody's been speaking for months now, or maybe even a year at this point. That's just what it is. Let's continue.
Went on the offensive on Twitter against me, because for some reason, apparently I'm the only person on YouTube that makes videos talking about the video game industry, and everyone just loves coming at me. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article breaking down the entire story from start to finish about how Andy Cortez took issue with something I said a long time ago, never said anything about it, and then thought that he had the biggest gotcha in the world on me, and instead, it came full force right back on top of him. To the point.
I just want to remind you, again, the reason why people come after you, and mostly you, is because you are the epitome of what they say doesn't exist, right? So when they talk about people like you, what it is that they'll call you an incel. a loser, somebody who stays at home with their mom, whatever fucking excuse they could possibly come up with to justify why they are not you. They'll come up with it all the time. And then they look at you and they realize you're not an incel, obviously. You have a family. You're a white guy, which again, that's what makes it the worst part about it. They don't care that you're Italian. They just view you as a white guy. You're just a fucking regular white guy to them. So you're a white guy with a family who's not an incel, who has his own success in life. You're everything they say doesn't exist, right? Because there's no way that anybody could be against DEI unless there's some sort of incel. Unless there's some sort of like whatever. That's their mindset, right? Oh, you have a sex shack? Yeah, I heard about the sex shack. I see. I was wondering what those tiles were for. Let's be real. You're not trying to keep out the microphone noise. If you catch my drift, that's not what you're trying to do. These insulation tiles are clearly meant to keep certain sounds in the shack. Did you really spend $18,000 on this shack though? That's absolutely insane, bro. That's absolutely insane. Holy fuck. And people think I'm rich, bro.
Where I wouldn't be surprised if he lost his job. But I want to be clear, I'm not calling for that. I'm just saying people at Kind of Funny have lost their job for far less. The gaming community thrives on discussion and debate, and that's why we're all here and why I keep coming back to it. But what happened recently with Kind of Funny's Andy Cortez went well beyond any kind of reasonable exchange. Now, before I get into what happened, I want to make something very clear. The accusation that Andy tossed at me here was so flippantly thrown and not researched that it was like insane. The types of accusations that he threw out there thinking he had a gotcha moment, it's something that makes you question the intellect of the person we're dealing with, because someone with a normal head on their shoulders doesn't act like this. The whole situation...
Well, I mean, let's be honest, right? So somebody like Andy Cortez, when he sees something like what he saw on Twitter, he's not trying to research it. He doesn't care to research it. Not even a little bit, right? He doesn't even want to even remotely research it, because it's not about researching it. It's about putting it out there as fast as humanly possible to get it in front of as many eyes as possible in the hopes to tarnish your reputation. And even if he's proven to be wrong later down the line, all he's got to do is delete it and be like, well, I deleted it, so there it is. That's all he wants to do. The Buta brothers don't care about doing research. They only care about getting the message out there. And usually it's for leftist politics. But in this situation, it was to try to defame you as much as they possibly can.
Unfolded after Greg Miller, from Kind of Funny, the once normal and somewhat, I don't want to say based, but at least closer to reality takes in the video game industry, has fallen far from graces. And he made a video on Kind of Funny that was pushing for his followers to vote for Kamala Harris. And I'm like, okay, it's your platform.
That shit was so cringe, by the way. I didn't even realize that they had a live stream begging people to vote for Kamala Harris. I had no idea until you mentioned it. It's so fucking hilarious to me. It's so hilarious because if you look back to all of my streams, I would always tell people to vote for the person that they felt their policies aligned with their interests the most. I never told people vote for Trump. Obviously, I might have insinuated that I was, but at the end of the day, I never told people to vote for Trump. I told people to vote for whoever they felt like matched their interests the best. And then you got these motherfuckers that are like, please vote for Kamala, please. She needs the votes. We need the mail-in ballots. Go kill your uncle, kill your grandparents, and make them vote twice. You know what I mean? It's fucking sad, but it's so true. And then they want to say that we're in the echo chamber. It's like, bro, come on. What are we doing?
Platform, you can do what you want. But I would never in a million years say you should tell people who to vote for. People should vote for who they believe in, who they want to vote for.
There you go.
By trying to nudge people in a direction to who you want to have vote for is not, in my opinion, the best move.
I think the biggest thing, especially for this podcast and the conversation we're trying to have here, that I'm trying to lead here, I should say, more than we're trying to have, is that I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm asking you to vote for Kamala Harris.
And I was trying to react to that in the funniest way possible. So when Greg put that video out there...
Did he seriously say that? I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm asking you to vote for. Bro, are you serious right now? You dedicated a 2-hour podcast to telling people who to vote for. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Just fucking say that that's what it was. Don't try to gaslight people and say that you weren't trying to tell people to vote for Kamala. Come on, bro. That's so fucking disingenuous, my guy. Like, it was obvious that's what you were doing. It's not like you had a segment in there saying, hey, here, this is what Donald Trump offers as policies. See if that interests you. You didn't have that. You spent 2 hours, because you were paid for 2 hours, to shill for the Democratic Party.